long before he became chairman of the party and after, and so on. And it seems to me that Mr. Polafoko is actually on the left of the New Patriotic Party. He's not conservative. He's ready to go out there and experiment. He's ready to go out there and test new ideas and so on. That's how I've known him. So I'm not surprised that he's doing the kind of analysis that he's doing now. Okay. Now, for me, this is the major question. If you go today and elect a presidential candidate with all the clout that comes with presidential candidates and so on, how can you then ensure that the persons or the positions which will be filled after he had been elected presidential candidate will not be filled exclusively by his cronies?
Okay.
His influence will be overbearing. So rather than build a democratic party, you build a structure whose loyalty is not to the ideals of the party, is not to the ethos of the party and so on, but which is absolutely loyal to the presidential candidate. That's a problem in organization, especially an organization which prides itself as a democratic institution. You understand what I'm saying?
But Kwesi, isn't that a sad reality of our politics, where people align more with individuals and personalities than the party? You have complained about that several times.
Yeah, but you make efforts not to entrench it.
Okay.
You make efforts to depart from that. Whoever is elected, it's not about Dr. Bawumia or Akompreku or whoever. Whoever is elected would have a substantial influence in the outcome of the elections of the national executive and the grassroots and so on. So the party, again, and I say again advisedly, will become a tool in the hands of a presidential candidate. You know, and in that process, the values are likely to be lost very, very quickly. That's a real danger. Okay.
Especially when Akufo Addo was accused of same.
Well, they accused him of that.
Yes.
You know, there are many people in the party who accused him of that. You know, and that danger still looms. You understand? Then Polafoko raises a very interesting issue, which has to do with the fact that they themselves, and this is their claim, I haven't verified it, but they claim that they lost the elections because many party loyalists refused to vote for the party.
Yes.
Okay.
So apathy.
Apathy.
Okay.
Okay. And then I've listened to my brother's explanation about the zeros which were scored in some polling stations and so on, but it's still strange. I mean, the explanation is not sufficient. Understand? Are we saying that in a whole, polling station, not even one person dared to vote? I mean, that's a problem. But
not even the polling executives.
Yes. Not even the polling agents.
Yes.
Because there were polling agents who were sitting there in the name of the party. They didn't vote. Okay. Now, if that is the case, why would you use the same structure to elect a presidential candidate? Why would you use the same structure which apparently rejected a presidential candidate, to elect a presidential candidate for a major crucial election?
Kwesi, minds can change.
No doubt. But find the evidence first. Okay. Find the evidence that minds can change.
Right.
First. Because minds don't change by accident. They change as a reaction to some stimuli and so on. So you have to find the evidence, Now, Moro, having said that, this process of building the party from the top has been criticized by many, many heavyweights in the party. In fact, somebody like Boakye Agyarko, who has been with the party from the very, very beginning, has been very critical of this approach, and he's not the only one. There are many others. I mean, even people who are contesting for the presidential candidature have criticized this process. Now, it seems to me that they're being ignored, and they're being ignored by an executive which appears to be very unpopular at this stage. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, if you talk to your friends in the NPP and so on, it is clear that the current executive is not that popular. Okay. Now, if you have an executive which is not that popular, and it appears to be dictating the pace for such a crucial exercise as the election of a presidential candidate, then there's a problem. Okay. But beyond all of that is the state of the party. The party is in a bad state. I mean, if you take elections throughout our history, perhaps the only election in which they fared so very badly, the performance was worse than the last election, was the 1951 elections. Right. Apart from the 1951 election, this is the worst performance of the party. And it appears that the party will continue to suffer some significant defeats in the coming years. And so it's already lost 2 by-elections, including 1 seat which it was holding on to.
But what's the basis for this doom prophecy for the NPP?
It's not a doom prophecy. It's an appreciation of the reality. It's there in our face. I mean, it's done so badly. How many seats does it have in Parliament?
87.
And it's lost 1. It had 88. It's lost 1. Now it's down to 87.
Yes. Tamale Central is on his way.
Tamale Central is on his way. It wasn't their seat, but it wasn't their seat.
But anyway, that's
But if they had contested, I can say with certainty that they would have lost so embarrassingly. Okay?
Right.
Now, there are rumors that there could be another by-election on the way. I'm sure you've heard them.
Yes.
There are rumors. Why? I can predict now that they will lose that one too if it happens. Okay. So watch the scenario. This horrible performance in an election, and everybody agrees. I mean, there's no dispute about that at all. Everybody agrees that the performance was very bad. We just heard the clip of the presidential candidate himself. I mean, the results were very bad. It was horrible. And it appears to be going down and down and down, the popularity of the parties. You need to do something extraordinary to jack up public confidence in the party.
But that's what Dr. Bawumia started. He's apologizing. He says he's so sorry. He started it. It's as if he knew that you're going to advise the party to do this. He started. He's going around apologizing.
First of all, what is he apologizing for? Do you have any idea?
He hasn't told us exactly what he's apologizing for.
Well, don't act exactly. He hasn't told us anything about why he's apologizing. That's number 1. Number 2.
He only said the party's done a lot of wrongs, things they could have done, they couldn't do.
Number 2.
Yes.
Just a few months ago, 2-3 months ago, he was saying that he lost because he was a first-timer.
Yes.
And that in Ghana, it's normal for first-timers to lose.
True.
That doesn't jive with what he has just said, does it? Huh? Before then, the claim was that even your Kwame Nkrumah couldn't do as better as we have done.
True.
So, what is the true position? What is the true position? I don't know.
Maybe it's a combination of all those factors.
Oh, then we should be told. We should be told that...
He's giving us a list of them. 1, he's a first-timer. 2, they wronged Ghanaians. We don't know what the other reasons.
And that is factual. Especially our party.
And it is also factual that this is the best performing government in our history. If this is the best performing government in our history, why the apology?
That's a legitimate question.
If this is the best performing government in our history, even your Kwame Nkrumah doesn't come anywhere near, then why the apology? You understand? So I think that this party needs to have people who are sober, who are reflective, who can imagine, and who can design a better future for the party. And it is interesting that Paul Afoko has said it.
Yes.
Many others have said it. Even former President Akufo himself has hinted at it, that they don't seek advice from them, what they say doesn't matter, and so on. And they are not the only people saying that. I mean, somebody like Mr. Kwame Pienim, you know, feels neglected, and so on. How do you build a party which is in this state to the point where it can win an election, you know, and so on? I don't know. But the party is on its way down. In fact, in the words of former President Akufo, again, he's saying that the party risks becoming like the CPP. That's what he said.
Right.
Is that not what former President Akufo said?
Yep, he said it. Fact.
Do I know better than former President Akufo? I don't.
Jacques.
Yes.
Any quick reaction so we can move on?
Look, this is a change. As I said, the conventional way is not followed. We always have people, no matter what you do, you always have people who will criticize it. For me, if it was informed by the research, by these eminent people, and these people have democratic legitimacy, that would be my question. Do they have the democratic legitimacy to vote? I think they still have mandate. I don't have problem with that. It's a strategy people will not understand. We don't expect everybody to accept it. It could be a strategy. So if it is a strategy, and for me, what it will work for me is early reconciliation after the leadership race. We'll have enough time to reconcile people. And I believe if NPP is united, we can win the next election.
Yeah, but Kwesi raises a very...
Yes.
Something which is very, very significant. And I'm sure you are aware.
Okay.
Even those who are contesting the elections,
yes,
and many others are saying that, look, all of this arrangement
yes,
is deliberately put together in order to ensure the victory of only one person. You've heard it, haven't you?
Yes, some people have criticized that. But have you seen video clips? I've seen video clips of the General Secretary saying very good things about Kennedy Agyapong. People could equally read that to say that he favored Kennedy Agyapong. These allegations would always be there, especially if you don't like it. Do you know that even our Congress, when we're about to have that Congress at the Legon Stadium, people are attempted to even inject it. And it turned out that it was even fake because the guy details they use is actually somebody from my town who later denied, no, it wasn't him. You always have people disagreeing. But I believe that it is just a matter because we're going for an election. After election, people will find a way to reconcile.
Okay.
I think people will accept it.
And sir, don't you also think that one of the problems that the party is having is simply because people in leadership positions are quick to declare support for candidates? Don't you think that that's a huge problem?
I agree with you. But it is not just our party alone. It's a phenomenon in Ghana politics. It was the same way John Mahama during their time. Yes. Some people were not happy. You remember during their leadership race, somebody had to pull out of the party. And they brought the person back. It's a phenomenon.
Who was that?
What is his name? Is it the former finance?
No, he never pulled out of the party.
I say, oh, well, whatever be the case, he wasn't happy.
And Massa.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
You know, I mean, the former finance minister, I'm sure you're talking about Dr. Dufo.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Dufo, more or less, it's beyond friendship. My relationship with Dr. Dufo is beyond friendship.
Okay.
And from the very beginning, I told him,
and
I said it publicly, that he didn't have a dog's chance of winning the elections.
You told him in his face.
I told you. It even led to some hiccups in our relationship and so on. But be honest with yourself.
Yes.
It was so obvious. I don't see why he couldn't see it and why his supporters couldn't see it. That was not a serious challenge.
Yeah, but it was just a side point I wanted to make. The point I want to make is that some executives are driven by interest. For me, that is wrong. Especially if you contest, as I said, I have contested primaries and I've made donations to my constituency. So let's assume you've made donation and you pay your party dues. And then you've later realized that all the executives are tilting towards one person. To the point that if you want to meet some group, the executive try to deny you. Obviously, it's a human thing. You will not be happy about it. So those ones, they are evil. We can find a way to kill them. We are not saying that as an executive, you may not be able to support somebody. But if you are using the party machinery or party resources to favor one particular person, these are evils both parties suffer. And we have to find a way.
Are you happy with the situation where your parliamentarians troop to one candidate's house and say, we are declaring support for you? Are you happy with that situation?
Because even it's their right.
Even the spokespersons, when they come on this show.
Political, the spokespersons of the party.
Belong to this camp or that camp. Yeah, spokespersons of the party. They've declared.
I think that one, like me as a communicator, yes. Bawumia is my favorite. I want him to become the president. There's nothing wrong in a democracy where you pick a side. And I think it's actually good democracy. I'm talking about people who have leaders of the party. For them, I want them to be fair to everybody. But if I'm a parliamentarian...
Like national chairman, national vice
for
chairman,
them, for them,
general secretary,
but what I'm saying is
minority leader.
It is not only
minority leader.
I think the minority leader hasn't picked a side.
Yeah, but I'm saying that he should belong to the category of people who cannot be pledging support to candidates.
No, so I think the minority leader. So that's how you
he hasn't publicly aligned.
He hasn't.
No, I haven't said that he has.
Yes,
I'm saying that he should belong to the category who cannot be declaring support for candidates.
Perhaps.
Regional chairman should not.
Okay.
So that's why I say
these things are driven by individual interests. These are some of the
No, he's not disputing that. What he's saying is that let your interest stay there. Don't publicly
I know. So we have to find a way of curing them. But for parliamentary candidate, former district chief executive, municipal chief executive, I don't see any problem with it. They are allowed to pick a side.
Those are former
and if they want to do it,
you mean former MMDCs?
Yes, former ones. Well, we don't have current ones. If the current one wants to come and support them,
but here's the thing. But as spokespersons, an NPP person is watching you.
Spokesperson for the
spokespersons for the party.
Yes.
You declare for candidate A, B, C, or D.
Yes.
How do you want them to take?
You mean communicators for the party?
I'm talking about,
like myself.
Yes, so you're a spokesperson for the
as a member of the legal directorate.
Yes. Or you're a communicator for the party.
Yes.
How do you expect the person who's watching you to take some of the analysis, especially when it comes to party issues?
I think very well where you belong. Giving us that freedom that you can support whoever you like. Publicly. I've seen people sitting down here declaring support for Kwabena Agyapong.
Yes.
People supporting Kennedy Agyapong. Yes. For me, as long as you do not discriminate by saying that maybe only Kennedy Agyapong people should go to Good Morning Ghana, Bawumia people cannot go, or Agyapong people cannot go, then that will be a problem. Okay. But if everybody is given the equal opportunity to go and declare for whoever you want, I don't see any problem with it. If you are within the party...
Are you not worried about the mixed messaging?
Okay.
Because all the candidates don't have the same vision for the party and for the country.
Very true.
So if, as a party, you are sending these mixed messages, what do you think that impact?
But that phenomenon is not limited to the NPP. That's the problem. It's both parties.
We're discussing the NPP now.
Yeah,
let's focus.
But still have in mind that that evil, if you call it evil, it's not limited to the NPP. Almost all the parties suffer from it. And for me, I don't actually see this as an evil if everybody is given equal opportunity to do that. Only the party structure is where I wouldn't want them to come out and say, we are supporting this. Because at the end of the day, if you elect the person, then people might be very suspicious whether resources were channeled for the benefit of one particular person.
Okay.
But if an individual person, I'm not connected to the party in any way, other than I'm a strong member, I'm a lecturer. I mean, I should have the freedom to declare my support.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a vote.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Ye too abaye ye research ewie. yenim se aban ene ye party yaye mfomso bebre ewo ye governance no mo niema wo ho a afise ye beye yanye ye mebi tu wo ho a ye ya anka ye hu from the background so a ye enti mejina ha ye nyina ha ye ka ho bi vice president ministers MPs board chairman appointees ye nyina ya ye from so pacho momfanche yen why momfanche ye nyina ya from so momfanche yen na yesua ye lessons nyame adom ena mode franka ne hyemensa me be ye president ambassador ya belle ni ye lessons momfanche yen ambassador.
I was talking to you about some information we have picked up that your party is doing everything possible to get Afoko back in your fold.
Yeah.
To play a more effective role in the party's reorganization and so on. I don't know whether you can confirm or deny this, but that's fine. First of all, do you have any information to that effect?
Do I have information to
the effect that your party is talking to Afoko to come back into its fold?
Yes, I heard that in the media, not in an official way.
Okay.
But just media reports, just as you're saying it. And he, of late, has been doing a number of interviews. And I think the party have openly expressed their willingness for reconciliation with all sorts of members who were affected or either suspended or dismissed. And I think, as you said, those who left to other parties, I mean, if you want to win power, you need almost everybody. And if there's a way you could work together with people who you were previously working together, but because of certain differences, they have parted, and you want them back. And if they are willing to come, why not? After all, winning is our numbers, isn't it? So if they have something to contribute, we want them. And if they think they so, I mean, if they strongly believe that NPP is so their home, I don't think there's any problem. As long as we get a working formula that we can work together, and whatever happened in the past do not affect us. I don't have issues with that at all. Yeah.
Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia himself, I've seen a video where he was basically extending an olive branch to persons who have left the party to come back.
Yeah.
And we've seen a video where he's apologizing to Ghanaians for the ills of the Nana Addo Akufo Addo Bawumia government.
Yes.
Some have interpreted that apology differently.
Okay.
There's some who say he's done a good job, some say apologize for
Yes.
what. And why now, you know?
Okay.
So maybe when I read the story, you can weigh in all of that. Whether and persons who are being hurt by what the party does, they can take advantage of this apology, whether it will extend to all of them. Okay. So let me look at that story. So Simon Avabe Agyanab, he's also the dean of the Parliamentary Press Corps.
Okay.
And he's also the editor of this newspaper, and he's captured the story here.
Yeah.
He's a former national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Wintami Paul Afoko, has cautioned the party to reconsider its decision to elect a flag bearer before conducting constituency, regional, and national executive elections. He says he argued that the party is attempting to build a huge structure without a solid foundation.
Okay.
According to him, if the NPP proceeds to elect a flag bearer first, it will be difficult for the subsequent elected executives to accept a leader they did not help to choose and trust. Speaking on United Television's UTV in Punimpu, I hope I got the pronunciation correctly, Mr. Foko said the current party structure is disconnected from the grassroots as well as the elders of the party. He asserted that the NPP is currently a headless party due to the executive's refusal to consistently consult party elders when taking serious decisions. He noted that complaints from former President John Agyekum Kufuor and other senior figures are not listened to, reflect poorly on the party. He therefore urged the party leadership to seek counsel from respected elders, such as the former President Kufuor, Mr. Kojo Kyeremanteng, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, Dr. Charles Rekobrobe, Mr. J. Darko, among others. He warned that failure to tap wisdom from those notable figures would lead the party nowhere. According to him, the bottom-up approach in electing party officers remains the best way to unite the grassroots.
Yeah.
He cited the recent general elections where the party recorded 0 votes in about 30 polling stations despite having executives in place as evidence of a structural disconnect.
Okay.
Why should and I'm quoting him, why should the same polling station executives who refused to vote in the last general election now be made to choose a flag bearer for the party? He quizzed, adding that who builds a house starting from the roof? The process must begin with the foundation before the roofing. Mr. Foko stressed that the bottom-up approach has over the years produced 2 presidents for the NPP, questioning why the current leadership would discard such a proven process in favor of an unfamiliar one. He also criticized the party's decision to conceal Professor Michael Kwesi's report, which, according to him, indicts several officers, including some current executives. Responding to calls for him to support any of the flag bearer hopefuls, Mr. Afoko firmly rejected them, stating them as a former national executive. He strongly disagrees with the tactics and maneuvering being employed to prioritize the flag bearership election over the election of polling station, except constituency, regional, and national officers. Now, reflecting on his suspension, Mr. Foko said, fortunately for the NPP, he and his team had laid the groundwork before his exit, which enabled the party to win the 2016 elections. Without him, although he admits he was unfairly treated, he said he harbors no grudge. So that's in today's Accra Times. What do you make of this? I mean, this man is a big figure. He's a stalwart.
Yes.
Politically.
Yes. There are a number of things that has been said over there. I'm going to disagree with him, especially the polling stations that he said because of the disconnect.
Right.
We recorded 0 in certain places.
Okay.
I have some personal knowledge about those polling stations. I'll speak to them. But whether the bottom-up approach is the best approach, yes, the conventional way of doing things had always been the bottom-up approach. The party have done that consistently for a very long time. But I believe that currently, as we stand, we are in a very unusual time. Look, immediately after the election, you can see how we're almost holding each other's throats. Look at the number. I don't want to repeat them. I've always believed in issue-based campaign. But look at some of these utterances that are ongoing. And I believe if we do not elect our flag bearer now, and if we want to wait until a year to election or 1.5 years to election, it could be that we may not be able to reconcile the leadership after, those various fashion after a leadership race. We may have problem in reconciling them. And I believe without proper reconciliation, if we get to general election, we may have problems. So I believe early election, whether January should be the earliest we should do it. I am not just saying that. But the party have looked through to this. I remember as soon after the election, when we lost, I had the opportunity of seeing the vice president the next day. We all went there to show our solidarity. And then people were coming out with various reasons as to why we lost. So he said it was too early for us to even apportion blame. So let's wait. The party will probably appoint a committee, and the committee will look into the various reasons why we lost. Even though the report has not been made public, but there are some people who have known the content of the report, and they have spoken to that report. And I think the idea that we should have an early leadership race to get a flag bearer is informed by that particular research. So if indeed it's informed by that particular research, and they said, let's have an early election. And for me, if such a decision is made, and somebody is talking about the legitimacy of it, I would want to ask a question, whether if a flag bearer were to be elected in January, would that flag bearer have some legitimacy to preside over the party? And for me, the answer there is yes. Because those current executives still have democratic legitimacy. They have a mandate. And they have a mandate up to some extent. And they shouldn't forget that it is not just these executives that the flag bearer need to more or less command the respect. Almost every member of the party. For me, it is an anomaly that even up to since 1992, when we came to the Fourth Republic, up to now, it's still a small number of people who have to even decide a flag bearer. For me, the time is right for both the NDC and the NPP to allow all members of their parties to vote. And I think the party, by expanding this register, I think we are moving towards that. So for me, general election doesn't trouble me because I know those executives still have a mandate. And if they have the mandate, they should be able to elect a flag bearer. It's just a different strategy. It's an unconventional way. I'm not saying there will not be disagreement. Change is difficult. And that is why people would always stop. What I'll urge the party to do is give them the freedom to discuss, to criticize. You see, free speech, if you look at the defense of free speech, why we must have it in a democracy. The J.S. Mills article is quite good. Okay. Argument from the truth. I think one of the reasons is argument from the truth. Nobody has exclusive right or control over the truth. Right. It's through argument and debate is where we arrive at. So I welcome some of the argument he made. Right. And if you are pointing to the argument from the truth, this is why I am interested in the content of it. Right. So usually when they say there were some police stations that we recorded 0, and that shows the disconnect between the leadership and the executive. Where are those police stations? Right. Those police stations are around the Boku area, where we have the troubles. Now, a day before the election, I had the opportunity of being at Bolga. And I was there to help campaign for some people. And when you go to the Boko, I had the opportunity of going to the Boko station because some people had called upon us to come and help negotiate. There was a large number of people who were at the station and they were going to Boko to vote. And they wouldn't get a vehicle. In fact, I had the opportunity of going with a colleague to the office to negotiate with those with buses. I spoke to somebody. They were saying that because of the trouble in that area, they were not prepared to move people over there. And when we negotiated, we came to realize that people had wanted to make money out of it. Because they were saying that if you are able to get some military escorts, plus you're prepared to pay an insurance of almost 30,000 per every bus, and then pay, in addition to the insurance, to pay 30,000 for every bus that will take people over there. You will pay individual fee, which is almost equivalent to moving from Bolga to Accra. So it got to a point that it was almost impossible somebody could foot those bills. Right. So almost everybody in that station couldn't get to Boko to vote. And you can see that, and over there too, you could see that because of the trouble area, people had to run to certain areas that will ensure their security. Right. So it was largely almost all the Kusasi control areas. You couldn't get, and if you look at the history very well and see the pattern of voting, it's like the Kusasi were predominantly voting NDC, and Mamprisi predominantly vote NPP. So the Kusasi control area, those people even perceived to be an NPP, your security is at risk. So those executives, there's no way you could vote over there. Right. And I understood even security were largely absent in those polling stations. Okay. So even the security themselves withdrew themselves from there. Okay. And we all know how elections are held. Right. Usually, if things are not policed, you're likely to get 0 over there. The counting process. Our democracy is not yet perfect. It's not like people truly make their decision based on true and fair. No. These things are still manipulated. So for me, I wasn't surprised that some polling stations were recording 0 because it can be explained with these particular troubles. Okay. And I don't think that can be a basis to inform the decisions that are good. This is the evidence. This is the reason why we must start from bottom up, so that a flag bearer would achieve legitimacy from these executives. And I had the opportunity to of running for NPP primaries to become a member of parliament as well. if you look at the strategy of electing this executive, like the polling station executive, the idea was that these people would almost represent the party in the electoral area. And they would campaign on behalf of the party. So once we get their vote, five people from each polling station will be able to convince their members. And I believe the way we do our primary can also even affect us at a lower level. So sometimes, maybe if you are the aspirant, you come, you meet only 5 people. Usually, after meeting these 5 people, the other members feel alienated. Why is these 5 people treated in a special way? And usually, this is not secret. Both NDC and NPP. Sometimes when you're a party company, some goodies are given. And those things further even alienate the basis.
But Ishak, he raises some other interesting
Points. Okay.
Or arguments.
Uh-huh.
He says, if the party proceeds to elect a flag bearer first,
Yes.
it will be difficult for the subsequent elected executives to accept a leader
Yes.
that they
Yes.
did not help to choose and trust.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I this is what I've just explained. I disagree with
You
him.
disagree with that?
I
Okay.
disagree with him.
All right. Now, he says that the NPP is currently a headless party due to the executive's refusal to consistently consult party elders when taking serious decisions.
Let me tell you why I disagree with
And
him.
refers to the
Yes.
John Kufuor.
Yeah, let me tell you why I disagree with him.
Yes.
You see, if you look at these parliamentary candidates,
Okay.
the way they are elected, sometimes they take certain strategies to align with a particular candidate. And usually after that election, the flag bearer even struggles to work with them. So let's assume a parliamentary candidate align themselves with Bawumia or Kennedy Agyapong or someone, and they use it as a form of strategy. And sometimes they accuse each other falsely. I remember the last election. I'm from the Northeast region. The secretary, the aspiring secretary, was accused of supporting someone other than Bawumia. And Bawumia was very popular in the Northeast region. And that one alone was like a death sentence for that particular person. Because of some of this argument. So whatever way you do, there will always be advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
And I believe that if the decision to hold this flag bearership election on 31st January is informed by the research that they have done, I don't have a problem with that. I would rather take that rather than an opinion that suggests that research was wrong.
But you don't know this for a fact. You are conjecturing that perhaps the reason the party is organizing an early congress is a fallout from the Mike Okwe report.
I've not read that, but I'm reliably informed that it recommended early flag bearership race.
Okay.
I understood that it recommended early flag bearership race. There was something you asked me to have in mind and comment on that, but it just escaped me.
Oh, the apology by Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia.
Okay.
Yes.
What is wrong with an apology? Better. So some people say it came late. Better late than never. I mean, apology is good. And of course we make mistakes. I think I've sat here and I told you, for me, E-Levy was a mistake. And I think when he had the opportunity, when he became flag bearer, even though he did not clearly state that E-Levy was a mistake, but in January when he met, as soon as he became the flag bearer, he had the opportunity of speaking at the UPSA auditorium.
Okay.
He made it very clear that, that was the first policy announcement he made, that E-Levy needed to go. The haircut, I believe there were mistakes we made.
Okay.
So, of course, we are in opposition. If you do not accept that you have made certain mistake when you are in opposition, then you're already having problems.
Right.
The ability to identify your problems is part of the solutions.
Okay.
And for him, if he apologizes, the criticism, I have not heard that people are criticizing him for the apology.
Okay.
What I've heard is that He's only apologizing on his behalf, and other people. Why didn't he apologize on behalf of the president?
Okay.
And my understanding is that by convention, you cannot apologize on behalf of your own boss.
So finally,
Yes.
he says the model you've always adopted,
Yes.
which is the bottom
Up.
approach,
Yes.
has produced for you
Yes.
2 presidents.
Yes.
Why do you abandon a model that works and adopt something which you may want to call an uncharted territory?
Okay.
So for him, he says that he doesn't get it.
So it sounds like the British saying that if it is not broken, don't fix it.
Absolutely.
Is that what he meant? But in this case, I said if it is informed by the research, maybe the research says it's broken.
Okay.
Then we need to fix it.
Okay.
But I quite understand some people. Look, I do not blame them.
Okay.
Change is difficult for people. But sometimes change is necessary.
Okay.
And as I said, look, we started early.
Okay.
And look at the kind of allegations people are making and counter allegations.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.